Good morning. This is a Porsche 911 Cabriolet or Porsche 964 Cabriolet gearbox for the roof mechanism. There's two of them, decided left hand and right hand. These transmissions or gearboxes for the roof are cable driven by motors which sit below the parcel shelf on behind the rear parcel shelf. These are prone to giving grief. What happens is either the gearbox itself here gives up because the bush is collapsed. I'll show you the bush here. If that bush, these have just been redone with new brass bushes and any play has been taken out of them. Now either this gives up and this drive gear here goes sideways and jams the roof frame, or what also jams the roof frame is the cable going between the motor below the rear window and here. There's a worm drive here. I'll show you now. Take it out with the kitten too. There's a worm drive there. The cable here runs the worm drive which turns the gear. So it's very important this is all in very good condition. Otherwise you'll have major synchronization problems between the two roof mechanisms on either side, and you'll snap the roof frame and tear your roof. What also happens is if this doesn't give up first, or your cables, obviously your drive cables, you've got the square drive ends on them, but as they twist over the ears, the cable internal, this part here, shortens, and the length of it shortens, and what happens there is this, bear with me a second, this here, this disappears back into, it gets shy of the opening, and when it gets shy of the opening you lose drive, and if you lose drive one side you'll snap the roof frame arm. So what you do here is you either replace the cables, they're around €200 or $200 a side, and they include new worm drive from partworks.de in Germany, or Porsche dealer if they have them. Or what you do is you shorten the casing for the cable by 10 mil. So the final result you want is you want to have the internal square drive of this protruding by about 10 centimeters or 1 centimeter. So 10 millimeters, I would say, or 1 centimeter. So so when this here gets pushed into the worm drive here all the way, the other end there should be 10 millimeters protruding from the casing. If there isn't, you'll have drive issues and you'll have major damage to your roof frame and roof. If one side locks up because it's lost drive, and the other mechanism keeps on going. Thanks. Okay, so I've done the modification to the cable casing. I used a hacksaw. A sharp hacksaw blade cuts through this within a matter of seconds. Now I've seen people using masking tape or gaffer tape or tank tape to join these together. I'm going to use 8mm Gates fuel hose. This is very tight, a nice snug fit on, by complete coincidence, a nice tight fit on the plastic casing. So well, this is probably nylon. So obviously in America I'm using about 60 mil. You can use 2 inches and use 50 mil if you like. But I tried 80 mil of hose and this got so tight it wouldn't go in. So I'm going to try 50 or 60 mil. I'm going to try 60 mil for now. If that's still too long, I'm going to bring it down to 50 mil and join them together. Now I'm going to clean this cable once again. My machine shop fella has already done it, but I'll do it again. He did a super job, especially greasing up the transmission for the roof. So I'll put this together and see how we get on. Thanks. It's worth noting that this part here, this end, slides backwards and forward on this rack to allow for the worm drive to fit snugly into the casing. So that's why you have to make sure that's properly seated to get your proper cable length on the other end. At the moment it's looking too long, but once you seat it properly in the casing, it should shorten 10 millimeters. This is the right hand roof mechanism to open and close the roof frame on the 911-964 Cabriolet. It's worth noting that this one isn't as bad as the left hand. The left hand had the left hand mechanism, the cable had gone all the way in and was well below the opening of the casing. And it's also worth noting that this side didn't jam. This kept on going, and the other side with the bad cable jammed and broke the arm on this particular car. So the cables are crucial. You can also get them from Rose Passion. So Rose Passion in Europe, Rose Passion or partworks.ie sell these cables. Or you can do what I'm doing, as you shorten them as far as you measure how much you need to take off. In this particular case, I took 10 mil off this casing on the left hand one. On the right hand one, I'm going to take only 5 mil off, because this is already protruding, so it needs to already come out a little bit more. And this has been well tested and greased up, and it's working well with a new, show you again, with a new bush inside. So that keeps everything nice and true and turning without grinding. Shouldn't be any grinding noises in this when you turn when the motor turns the mechanism. Thanks. Good morning. This is a video I'm putting together quickly for 911, 964 and 993 roof winders. This is for Cabriolets. So if you have a Porsche 911, Porsche 964, Porsche 993 Cabriolet and you have roof issues, it's either going to more likely be your cables, which are these fellas, cable drives from the motor to the rear parcel shelf to your gearbox, or it could be the gearbox internals are worn out, you need to put new bushes, or the settings for the micro switches on the right hand side. It would be passenger side on US cars and German, French cars, and on Irish and Australian cars it's on your driver's side. So that's your right hand or driver's side in Ireland. Gearbox winder. This is the roof gearbox winder, and this side is your the left hand one. This doesn't have any micro switches on it. This is the one identified without any micro switches. Now what I found here is I've had this rebushed. This is very important. If that's dissolved and now it looks like this, which is absolutely destroyed, it's time for you to get it rebushed. Get any decent machine shop, thanks to Hills Engineering here in Ireland, they'll make up a new bush, and they'll get all the tolerances right, so that the gear inside here moves smoothly. 4 screws there undo it, and there's a worm drive in here, and the big bronze gear that goes around here. So it's very important the planet gears below which is the planet gears, the other side of the planet gears are here. It's very important the planet gears and the big bronze gear move perfectly without any vibration. So I've heard a lot of them on YouTube, and they sound like a grinder going up and down. They shouldn't sound like your Porsche is a premium product. Your roof shouldn't sound like a grinder going up and down. So what I found here, the reason this video is, because long story short, is when I got it back from the machine shop, I noticed that this arm on the left hand one was facing the wrong way. Now, there's 2 ways you can set this. Don't take this bolt out. This is a 19mm bolt. This is your emergency release. You can do this with your wheel brace if you want to get your mechanically move your roof up and down. So you do this on both sides, and then you can manually move your roof up and down once you've unlocked the front windscreen clasp. Undo this, but the reason for this video is there's 2 places this can sit, 180 degrees away. So it's very important that before you tighten this, and if you have this off, you have this in the right place. This at the moment is set in the closed position. Put the right hand one up against the micro switch. There's some adjustment you have to do there. If you can find this manual 40-page PDF on Google, it is invaluable to the operation of this roof. Again, for 86 to 94 911s, including 964 and 993. It has all the info you need for setting up and all the different things and all the different angles. Just while we're at it, that distance there between those two arrow points is critical. It has to be synchronized on both sides. There's the right hand one in place behind the panel, behind the safety belt. Thanks. So for a rough adjustment, before you put these winders in, compare them side to side to see where the levers lie. So I've got the gearbox on the table or workbench, wherever you are, and the cable coming out the back of each side, like the way they would be sitting in the car. And at the moment, the left-hand one, or the driver's side one if you're in the US, is sitting lower than the passenger side one. So I'm going to wind this one, the left-hand one, further up so it matches the right-hand one, because I know that the right-hand one is sitting on the you see there, the micro switch. It's very close to the micro switch, and the final adjustment can be done with the bolts, the mounting points. So after using the drill, you can now see that these are roughly in line with each other. As I said, the final adjustment for each side, once the micro switch is set up on the right hand side, here, this micro switch, once that gap is set properly, it's about 3 mil is meant to be. Then you can do the final adjustment by rotating. That's why these holes for the mountings are so big, for the final adjustments. And then here are the spacers and the bolts to the missing one, and you go look in the car for that. Thanks. We're not using this, as I said, because it seems to be winding the opposite way to it should. And also it supplies the left hand unit, and it's clearly a right hand unit.